Hi, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Facebook Live Fridays with AR Solutions. I am so excited to be here and share some advice and expertise with you. If you're a small business owner, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here and ready to learn a little bit more about how to manage your businesses financially and how to manage your people. So just to introduce myself, I am the owner of AR Solutions. I have been a small business owner for over 30 years, and in the last 5 years, I have concentrated on the consulting side of small businesses, where I've been going out there and helping small businesses who are mainly in crisis, helping them navigate that crisis and come up with customized solutions so that they can not be in crisis anymore and their businesses can start making money. And in that process, I've realized how passionate I am about helping small business owners through education. And that's what these Small Business Fridays are all about. The Small Business Fridays are about free advice for small business owners with affordable solutions, because that's really important, especially when you're a startup, for the common problems that small business owners face. I'm really interested in helping small businesses and their owners be educated about the systems for financial management and people management. Last week, we talked about the January tax calendar, and I posted a tax calendar for January, which identified tax milestone dates that you needed to be aware of, which involved W-2s and 1099s. And I'm going to be doing that every month, as well as identifying important financial milestone dates. So as far as the end of first quarter, what you need to do, the end of second quarter, what you need to do, the end of the year, what you need to do. And the other thing I really am excited about doing is posting some interviews with small business owners where they can talk about the problems that they faced and the solutions that they identified as best business practices. I'll also be posting resources here, so please join me on my Facebook page, follow me, like this video so that you can have access to these resources. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about cash flow. What is cash flow? Cash flow is the lifeblood of small businesses. And that's a very common saying, but it's true, because just like you need blood in order to exist, you need cash in order for your business to exist. You don't have to have a degree to understand what cash flow is. Most people are functioning using cash flow without even realizing that's what they're doing. We're just going to identify what it is, and then we're going to talk about the best ways to manage cash flow. You do have to have some type of cash flow management in order for your business to grow. And everybody has a cash flow management system. We're going to talk about some of the common cash flow systems that I run into that are problematic. Proper cash flow management will save you thousands of dollars. It's just truth. It will save you thousands of dollars. You have to have proper cash flow management. Okay, let's talk about what cash flow is. Cash flow is really simple. It's just money in and money out. Money in is in the form of income, that is sales receipts or money that you receive from your customers. Money out is in the form of expenses, and there are two types of expenses. One are expenses that go to your vendors to produce your product or services, and those are called cost of goods sold. And then the other one are expenses, and we'll just label those overhead. And that is like rent or taxes. Those are non-revenue producing expenses, but all businesses have expenses like that. Your cash flow management system is really important. I cannot stress that enough. Let me talk about the biggest problem that I see as far as why you should be managing your cash flow. Most business owners that I'm running into who are not educated about cash flow don't understand how important it is to manage cash flow. And I just wanted to outline those areas really briefly here. Number one, you cannot have a budget without knowing in advance how much money is coming in and how much money will be going out, which causes number two, you cannot make big purchases or hire people without a budget. If you don't know how much money is coming in the future and how much money will be going out in the future, you cannot grow. You can't offer terms to customers without knowing if your businesses can float the cash until payment. Most people will think that this may not be relevant to them, but I'm telling you, the biggest revenue organizations, corporations that will contract you out to produce their product or service will ask for terms. And terms just simply means that at the time that they receive the product or service, they are not going to pay you, and that they will not pay you from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days. And that's all that terms mean. And if you don't have a cash flow management system, you will not know whether you can afford to offer terms to a company. So you might get a big contract to produce $50,000 worth of your product, but they might be asking you for terms of up to 90 days to produce that product, which means you have to pay for your cost of goods sold, you have to pay your vendors, and you have to pay your independent contractors or employees 30, 60, or 90 days before you actually will receive payment from that company. And this is one of the biggest things that I run into that will make a company go out of business. Your business will fail if you do not have a cash flow management system in place. That is the unfortunate truth. It is one of the top 5 reasons why businesses fail. All right, let's talk about the different types of cash flow management systems that I commonly see when I see a business in crisis. The first one is you have it all in your head. I am constantly amazed at the capacity of small business owners to retain their financial information in their head. I think that it is amazing, but unnecessary, and it clutters up space in your head that you should be using to manage your growth and not to manage where you're at. So I call this method the out of sight, out of mind method, which means that if it's in your head, you know that if you're hitting a crisis where a bill is due or a customer owes you money, you have that in your head, but you have no idea whether your company is making any money or whether you're charging the right amount of money for your product. The second method is you have it on a piece of paper somewhere, someplace. You know it's there, you just can't find it right now, or you can't find it when you need to find it, or you definitely don't have any information on whether your company is making money or your company is charging the right amount for its product. The third method, you're using a box of receipts. In this day and age, I cannot stress to you, having a box of receipts is good. You need to have a paper trail for your expenses. The IRS will require that if they audit you. That is the only reason why you should ever have a box of receipts. There are, and we'll talk about this next week, but there are so many technology resources that you can leverage to make that box of receipts go away. You have it, and again, that box of receipts is not going to tell you whether your company is making you money, and it's not going to tell you whether you're charging the right amount for your product. You have it, let's say that you are computer savvy and you understand how Excel works and you're using a spreadsheet. So this last method of cash flow management, you think you're doing a really good job because you have it all in an Excel document somewhere. And sometimes I have seen people who have created these wonderful Excel documents with great intentions, but when the day-to-day revenue requiring management happens, in other words, when they need to actually produce the product so that they can have some money so that they can actually eat, then this cash flow management system goes by the wayside every single time. So if you're using these cash flow management systems, I want to really, really, really encourage you. They're either evidence of a lack of cash flow management, you're not even really managing your cash flow, or ineffective cash flow management. And let me talk about why these methods don't work before we go on. You will wait until the last minute. It's inevitable. None of these cash flow management systems are efficient. They are labor intensive. So you will wait until the last minute, which is either tax time, April the 14th, April the 15th, or extension of your tax time, October the 14th or October the 15th. And let me just put forth a scenario. You start your business on January 1. If you are waiting until the first tax deadline, which is April the 15th, your business has been in business for over 15 months and you still don't know whether you're profitable or whether you are charging the right amount for your product or service. Or worst case scenario, you filed an extension. Now your business has been in business almost 2 years and you still don't know whether your business is profitable or whether you're charging enough. That is a bad idea. The second reason is you will never know how much or even if your business is profitable. I just said that. The third one is you will miss important tax write-offs. I mean, at the moment when you get that tax bill is the moment when you're going to understand why this is so important. It is the worst time in the world to receive that tax bill and go, oh, I had all of these expenses either in a box or in my head or written down somewhere, or with the intention of putting it in an Excel document, and now I don't have access to that and this tax bill is due. That's the worst time to find out. You will pay more money to a third party to unravel your system and the first three things that I talked about above. Your business can grow, but that growth will be negated by poor management of cash flow. In other words, your business will leak cash, and that's a really depressing and demotivating place for small business owners to be. You will needlessly spend your time on non-revenue producing tasks, such as going through a box of receipts at the midnight hour. That's a ridiculous waste of your time. So I'm going to encourage you not to have it all in your head, have it on a piece of paper, use a box of receipts, or even try to use an Excel document. Tune in next week because we're going to talk about the different ways you can manage your cash flow that are efficient, that are not time consuming. I'm talking about minutes to, if you did it weekly, minutes per week versus the way that we just discussed. Don't forget, January 31st is your 1099 due date. Just to remind you again, and if you need more information on what the heck a 1099 is and why you need to file it, please go back to my Facebook page and watch the January tax tips video. I go in depth on what a 1099 is, who needs to have one, but just wanted to let you know that I provide the 1099 miscellaneous preparation service, where I will go help you and go over all of your vendors and identify those that need a 1099 and get those prepared and sent out to the IRS and your vendors. So let me know by direct messaging me or message me on Facebook or email me at agnes@arsolutions4business.com. Also, don't forget, you can sign up for my free webinar. If you're starting your business right now, this is the perfect time to learn about how to set up your business entity. It's so important to set up your business foundationally with the tax risk in mind and the legal risk in mind. So please watch that video, or please take that webinar. So, okay, join me next week, Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to talk more about this cash flow management, and I'm going to talk about how to affordably and mostly painlessly manage your cash flow. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I can't wait to see you next week, and have a great week.